Okay, today we're going to have a go at replacing a screen on an Acer Aspire. I've already taken the old laptop apart so that I can see what sort of screen is inside. That we can do with little more than a small screwdriver, a small Phillips screwdriver, and I'll use a credit card, as you'll see, to help get the bezel off. This is using a screen which I bought from laptop-lcd-screen.co.uk, where they've delivered it, and this is the one that's just arrived from them, all nicely packed up. So what I'll show you first of all is the process of taking apart the old laptop and then inserting the new one. Okay, so I've got an Acer laptop here, which we're going to put a new screen in. First thing to do is release the catch at the back here and take the battery out. Okay, so the easiest thing is I'm using a knife here, this particular one, which is an Acer 5, and underneath there, 250. It has a couple of, there we go, screw holes underneath these we'll do the same on the other side, and then remove those two screws. So we'll just remove the screw here. This is going to allow us to take the bezel off. After this, the bezel will just come away quite easily. And now we can just start to loosen this up and take the bezel off carefully. Okay. And now, as you can see, there are some screws down the side here, which will allow us to remove the screen. 3 on this side, 3 on the other side. And we also need to remove these screws at the corners. Screw up here, one at the bottom, one at each corner, which will allow us to then separate the screen from the frame and in fact fold this part of it down. Okay, so we'll start off removing this one with a Phillips screwdriver. Notice this is the one on the right hand side. We'll do the same over here, sort of the inner side. And now we'll take off the 2 top ones here. and this allows us then to fold this down and separate it away from the frame. So now we can see we just need to disconnect these 3 screws on each side of the frame that's attached to the hinges so that we can get the screen out. And just take this one off near the hinge using a fine screwdriver. There's the next one. And this will allow us to detach the old screen from the frame, holds it together into the hinges. Okay. And then we repeat taking the 3 screws out the other side. And now the awkward bit, there's a little bit of sellotape or something here. Underneath here we can see the locking mechanism. And I just need to figure out how that unlocks. Okay, so what we're going to do is peel the sticky back, and I have just pulled this out. You see this will come away from the connector, and I think it's going to be important that we get a good, when we put the new one back together, we get a good connection, which might mean using a bit more sellotape to hold it into place. So having done all of that, we've now got the old screen disconnected, and I shall lift that out. Need to just undo all of that, and that's the old screen removed. And now I'm going to unbag the new one and get it ready for going into place. Okay, we'll now cut our way into the thing to get them. Here it is, and we'll lay that down between the rails. We're going to attach these side rails back with the little screws that we took out a few minutes ago, and then we're going to get this connector back connected again. So it's just helpful to leverage the screen just up slightly so that you can get the screw aligned properly. It's quite a delicate manoeuvre to get that into place. Once it's in place though, I think that should hold it quite nicely. Yeah, that one's just about gone in. Next one goes in the next slot up, and then there's actually the next hole after that isn't used on this particular model. So we get that lined up. Yeah, and that's just going in and holding it onto the frame. So we don't use the next hole, but we use this one right up the top near the top of the screen. Yep, that one's going in nicely, so we just got 2 more on the other side to finish off. So having secured the screen, I've fixed the connector back in place, and here you can see the sticky tape that's been well pushed down just to make sure that we've got a good connection and it's not going to move. So now we're going to line it up and get these screws back in again. And the same with the bottom two, noting that we put the bottom two on the inner holes, which is where they came off. The outer holes are going to be used for the bezel. Okay, that's the final one screwed in there. And now we put the bezel back on and make sure that these wires are out of the way so that they're not going to snag it when we get it on. Should just click into place with a bit of luck, and then we have these front screws to hold the bottom panel in. Okay, that goes in. Hold that one into place, and on the other side. And then, if we haven't lost them, put the little covers that we prized off before over the screw holes. And there we are. You just got those little plastic bits in and the screws are hidden again. So that completes fitting the new screen on an Aspire 5250 P5WE6. I hope that's been helpful to you. And don't forget, look at the laptop-lcd-screen.co.uk website for further information about screens.